So it turns out the federal government that told you to follow the science forgot to follow the Constitution. In a blistering ruling first reported by Blacklock's reporter, a federal labor board has confirmed what many of us already knew, that vaccine mandates weren't just tyrannical, they were unconstitutional. The National Research Council, a federal agency, has been found to have violated the charter rights of its own employees, specifically their freedom of religion, by denying them exemptions from Trudeau's COVID jab decree. You remember those mandates, right? The ones that forced millions of Canadians to choose between their beliefs and their paychecks? Well, now, thanks to some brave souls and a labor adjudicator with a backbone, the truth is finally being dragged into the light. The ruling focuses on two Christian employees, one a Catholic meteorologist and the other one a Pentecostal IT analyst, both suspended without pay because they refused a COVID shot developed using fetal cell lines from aborted babies. Let that sink in for a second. These people aren't radical anti-vaxxers. They aren't tinfoil hat types. One was even a scientist. They were people of faith who, in their own words, said they would rather die than comply with what they saw as a betrayal of their deepest religious convictions. The one woman, a practicing Catholic, explained that her beliefs compelled her to avoid any cooperation, direct or indirect, with abortion. For us Catholics, it's called being complicit in sin. When she explained that to her supervisor, she was punished, not accommodated, not respected, but punished. The Pentecostal man said he hadn't had any vaccines in over 20 years, trusting God to protect him. He also pointed out that using fetal cell lines, even decades removed, was a violation of God's command against killing. And for that, suspended without pay. Now here's the kicker. This is the same Liberal government that pretends you can be a devout Catholic, like the current and former prime ministers, while cheering on child gender transitions, forcing people to wave pride flags and chanting for abortion rights. And this is the same government that had the gall to sit in judgment of real Christians, questioning the sincerity and orthodoxy of their beliefs. What an absolute joke.
If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. But don't think you can get on a plane or a train beside vaccinated people.
This is the same Liberal government that tried to strip charitable status from religious organizations that oppose abortion, barred churches and Christian camps from the summer jobs grant program unless they swore allegiance to the Liberals' radical sex ed agenda, and still insists that the state, not scripture, gets to define what counts as real religious belief. These are the people who scoff at Christian moral teachings in public, then pretend to be qualified to measure your theological consistency in private HR meetings. And now they're getting a long overdue spanking in court. The Public Sector Labor Relations and Employment Board sided with the employees, citing the Supreme Court's Amsalem decision, the one that says religious beliefs don't have to be popular, consistent, or approved by Justin Trudeau or Mark Carney to be protected under the Charter. And the numbers don't lie. Of more than 2,000 federal employees who requested a religious exemption during the mandates, only 26% were approved. The other 3/4 were tossed aside like the rights they were supposedly guaranteed under the Charter. This was not about public health. It was about ideological submission. Obey or be cast out. Bow to the new state religion or lose your livelihood. But now the tide is turning. This ruling won't undo the pain, the humiliation, or the lost income these Canadians suffered. But it's a start, and it's a warning shot. And it's proof that, try as they might, the Liberals can't fully erase our constitutional rights with a smug press release and a pride flag. You want reconciliation? You want justice? Start with an apology, and then, feds, start writing the checks. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. Even if your kids go to religious school, they are definitely not safe from state-sanctioned sexualized propaganda. To sign our petition, please go to stopclassroomgrooming.com.